Asphalt. Concrete. Buildings. Ubiquitous and essential elements of our lives. They support us, protect us, and enable us to get from point A to point B more rapidly. But one of the strengths of all these essential elements, the impermeability, can also be a weakness when it comes to stormwater management and water quality. With nowhere to go, common pollutants like oil, fertilizers, and animal waste accumulate on these surfaces over time. Then when it rains,
those things wash off and go into the storm drains and out into the creeks, into the ocean, untreated. And so the more impermeable area you cover a city with, the more likely it is you're going to have high levels of water pollution in your creeks and in your beaches.
To get an idea of just how impermeable Santa Barbara is, take a look at this map. The red indicates impermeable surfaces like streets, sidewalks, and buildings, and as you can see, there's a lot of it.
Particularly in the downtown area of the city of Santa Barbara, we have places that reach over 95% impermeable surfaces covering all of the land area. As you move out into less developed areas of the city, that drops, but we still have citywide over 40% of our entire land area is completely covered with impermeable surfaces.
Impermeable surfaces not only increase the amount of pollution getting into our creeks and ocean, they also increase runoff and decrease infiltration. During a drought like the one we're in now, the situation is amplified because when it does rain, so much valuable water literally goes down the drain. All of this is made even more poignant by new research that reveals drought may not be the new normal, it may just be the normal.
Going back into the past rainfall records, our collaborator Al Leidecker has found that 3 years of drought is not that unusual. But combined with increasing temperatures, the average temperature for Santa Barbara has increased in the last decade. And so when you get those higher temperatures with the low rainfall, we've had this very intense drought. And really, we need to start thinking about this area, Santa Barbara, the South Coast, as a very dry climate punctuated once in a while by wet years.
The drought has brought to the forefront the problems associated with so much impermeable surface. Experts say the solution lies in reducing runoff, slowing it down, and allowing it to percolate into the soil.
We call it infiltration or retention, and that provides water for plants during the season, that hopefully provides more stream flow to improve habitat during the summer conditions in the creeks, and also gets rid of the contaminants. So you're really doing three things at once by keeping as much rainfall as you can on your property.
To get a good idea of what retention and infiltration looks like, you don't have to go far. Right in the middle of town, there are three good examples. The Schott Center at 310 West Padre, the Spencer Adams Park Building at 1216 De La Vina, and the Association of Realtors headquarters at 1415 Chapala.
And this garden right here used to be a lawn. The lawn was removed, and the whole front of the area was really graded to look at where the water naturally percolates during a rainstorm and how we can capitalize on that. So swales and basins were really constructed throughout the whole garden to take the water from the roof and to percolate it down into the ground so that the plants around it can use it, and then also it can go deeper into the groundwater basin.
To get the water from the roof and into those swales and basins, the downspouts were redirected into the landscaping.
And this water will come down through here, through this cobble area, and percolate into this basin. And if this fills up, it's able to spread out over through the pathway and go into the second basin. And this whole swale area is able to fill up with the rainwater and have it slowly percolate down into the ground.
To take even further advantage of what little precipitation we get, rain barrels can be utilized.
Even when it's not raining, we see rain barrels filling up with fog that collects on people's roofs and goes down their rain gutters and is able to fill those rain barrels.
And to increase that valuable contaminant cleansing infiltration, remove those impermeable surfaces where possible.
When you find yourself in a position of having to replace your driveway or a patio, if you can use permeable surfaces, there are many options. Permeable pavers are one option, but there are also permeable asphalt and permeable concrete. And for patios, you can use flagstone patio or broken rock patio. And then as long as you don't grout in between that, it creates an area where the water is able to soak down into the soil and into the ground and be treated and also replenish groundwater.
And to boost retention in that new driveway or patio, add layers of rock or gravel underneath. This technique can also help reduce flooding, a fact that has been borne out at Creeks Division projects like the one at McKenzie Park parking lot.
We replaced some of the asphalt in the parking areas with permeable pavers. That was a park where when we would have rainstorms, we would have flooding in the parking lot for a day or so afterwards, where there would just be a giant puddle. And once we installed the permeable surfaces in there, now all the water sinks down and is able to infiltrate down into the soil, and we haven't had any kind of flooding problems there.
The more we incorporate the simple techniques of retention and infiltration, the better our creek and ocean water quality will be, the more groundwater will be recharged, and the less red we'll see on that impermeability map the next time around. As for what color will replace it, the answer is clear.